Hello, friends, and welcome to the Homewrecker podcast. I'm not even going to bother with the usual intro because we got kind of silly there for a minute. All right, I am the Golden Greek, Alex Arion, joined as always by my beautiful, lovely wife, the wonderful, gorgeous Monique.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic as
Woo.
always. How are you?
I am.
And what's new with
fantastic.
you?
Thank you. What's new? Oh, well, we have an adventure we're going to talk about today.
Sure. Yeah.
Before we get into that, I do have my group hypnosis session. It's hypnotherapy to connect with your inner child. And I will be doing that on Tuesday, May 10th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's via Zoom. And you can go to the link in the show notes for a ticket through Eventbrite.
Rad.
Yes, I try to make these really affordable. It's only $25 for a ticket. To do inner child work in a normal hypnotherapy session, it's the normal price. I usually do other stuff with it, but I've said it before in the show, when I do this and I offer it, I want to make it available so pretty much everyone can afford it. So I am offering inner child work through hypnotherapy.
Rock and roll.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
Excellent.
So sign up because space is limited.
Do it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Great. Anything else?
I think that's it. How about you? What's going on with you?
Oh, lots and lots. But nothing I'm ready to talk about just yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, when we talk about how we just returned recently from a vacation.
Yes.
A family vacation. Probably the first one we've ever taken.
Our first family vacation.
Yes.
When you have kids, there are people who go on vacation all the time with their kids. And then there's people like us who never go on vacation.
Yes. We initially planned on taking this family vacation
April 2020.
And obviously everybody that's alive right now knows what happened in March of 2020 and how the world's been in utter chaos ever since.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of put everything off because of all that nonsense that was going on. And now we were finally able to take our trip, and we went to
the Mothman Museum.
Well,
not just there.
that was at one day of our vacation.
We went to Southern Ohio. The whole purpose of this vacation was kind of two things. One, to go away somewhere secluded, away from people, out of the city, and just kind of have a fun family vacation.
Yes.
And then the other part was be really close to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, so we could go to the Mothman Museum, because it's not only something that Alex and I have wanted to do and wanting to go there, but our children really wanted to go.
Yeah. Funnily enough, our kids really like Mothman. So it was especially for our middle child who was really excited. It just so happened to be right around his birthday. So it kind of worked out well that it was like this place that he wanted to go for the longest time. So worked out really well in that way. And we've been wanting to go for, like you said, for a while, and finally made it happen. So it was cool.
It was. And we drove there.
That
New
was
Hampshire to Southern Ohio.
Yeah. And that was what, about if we didn't have to make stops,
about 12-hour drive without
it's about a
stops.
12-hour drive. But I mean, obviously you have to stop to use the restroom and gas up and things like that. And fortunately for us, I thought for sure this would be like a 15 or 16-hour road trip, just because with kids, you'd figure you'd have to make frequent stops. I got to say, our children are freaking road warriors.
Yes, they are.
They definitely take after us, because they didn't have to make all those crazy stops. We didn't have to do it.
No.
We literally only stopped for gas.
Yeah.
And we would use the restroom and walk around when we'd get gas. And that was it. And it wasn't because we were being, super militant about it or anything like that. It was just, they knew we're only going to stop if you guys can hold it, we're going to only stop for gas. And they never complained. Never. It was amazing. Even our youngest, our 5-year-old was.
I'm just thinking about something that happened.
Yeah. There's a lot of funny stuff that happened. Yeah. But it was just, we made it in really good time on the way there and the way back as well. So
yeah, the way we tried to plan the schedule was go to sleep for a few hours, get up around like 12:30, and hopefully be out on the road by 2 a.m. So that way we're driving. We didn't go through New York City. We went into Massachusetts, into Connecticut, into northern New York. We got to go through Scranton, PA.
which was
like the highlight of my road trip. Yeah. It's Scranton. Not that The Office was ever filmed there, but it's still Scranton.
Right. It's because anybody that's listened to the show before knows we're huge Office fans.
We like that show.
That was cool.
And we went through Pennsylvania, kind of rode into Maryland on the border of Pennsylvania, getting into West Virginia, and then up into Ohio. And it was a great ride because we didn't have to go through New York City. And we paid a total round trip of $2.75 in tolls.
Not bad.
Yeah.
We literally, I think, going the way we did added like 40 miles to the trip,
I think so.
It actually ended up cutting,
or like 40 minutes or something to the trip.
Did it even add time to the trip? Because all right, it timed from the GPS, but we hit literally no traffic on the way there. And no traffic on the way back.
Weird driving there. You think in the middle of the night, there's not going to be traffic, but even all day driving, we really didn't hit much. Going through Scranton in the morning, Wilkes-Barre, that area, we got a little bit of like there were other cars on the road,
but that's not traffic.
No, I'm just saying compared to having no cars on the road. But it was incredible. It was great, and we just went through that. I will say, after driving for that long, I was tired, but as our cat just hits the microphone.
You didn't have to put it over, but okay.
As I was saying, after the drive, getting out of the car, my body felt like it was just like having this weird vibration from being in the car for so long. Did that happen to you?
That happened to me, and I noticed it even lying down in bed. I felt like I was still vibrating. It's weird.
Just like this.
Yeah. Very. It could have also been just sleep deprivation as well.
Possibly. Going home, I felt it though. And it was interesting. I never experienced that before. I don't remember experiencing that before.
Good times.
Yeah.
Fun times.
So we got to stay in a cabin on 63 acres of land.
Pretty secluded.
Yes.
Nice long driveway. It was like almost seemed like it was like a mile long. It wasn't a mile, but
almost.
It was pretty long driveway with a nice locked gate and everything. Yeah, you weren't. Yeah, it was nice.
One thing
felt really nice just being away from everything, and the whole time I'm there, all I could think was, yes, I could absolutely live like this and I'd be fine.
Yes.
This is great.
It was a small cabin. There was no privacy in the bathroom because it was a handmade log cabin. So it was like wood with like the cement in between. And inside the bathroom, it was like wood and planks. And there's spaces because if there was natural spacing like in the wood, you could look through the wall and see into the living room area. And the wall only came so high. So there was about a 6-inch gap between the wall and the ceiling. So you had no privacy in this bathroom. But I think we did okay.
It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. Like the whole family.
No one seemed to care.
No, all 5 of us with one bathroom in a small cabin. It was great.
It was actually, getting in there and seeing it. And when we first walked, I was like, wow, okay, this is kind of small, because obviously we're coming from our house, and it was fine. It was incredible just seeing how our kids all interacted and adapted to the situation and the surroundings. It was fantastic. It was incredible. I had such a great time. I know they all did, and I know you did too. But it was fantastic.
My favorite part was the porch. There's a huge wraparound porch.
Yeah.
And I would just get up and watch the sunrise. I saw a very weird thing too. One morning.
What was the weird? Oh, the weird. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Go ahead, explain.
So one morning, it was a really nice sunny day. There weren't clouds in the sky. And I'm watching the sunrise. And I noticed once the sun goes up past a certain point, it was about maybe 8 a.m. There's something that looks like a star shining in the sky. So it, like where the sun is, it was kind of below the sun and off to the side a little bit, because I wanted to take pictures of the sunrise. And I saw a plane doing chemtrails. And I thought, even out here, they have planes flying by with their chemtrail shit. But I noticed that this star thing, it was staying in the same spot. And then I wanted to get my camera because I was curious how this thing looks like a star in daytime in the morning. I go to get my camera, and when I come back, it's kind of bigger and almost like cigar shaped. And I was trying to get pictures of it, and I thought, okay, maybe it's a plane? But then afterwards, nice face, the face Alex is making at me, went back to like a star, like just a little circle. So it was a small golden like circle in the sky.
Cigar shaped.
Then it got long, like a cigar shaped. And then it went back to being small.
You had a UFO experience.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it was.
Could you identify what you saw?
No.
Okay, so you had a UFO experience.
But was it flying?
Was it in the air? Was it in the sky?
Maybe it was floating. So still F.
Was it in the sky?
It was.
There you have it. So you saw a UFO.
Okay, apparently I saw a UFO.
That doesn't mean it was an alien spacecraft. You just saw an unidentified flying object. You saw a UFO. That's it. That's all. So that's why I was making that face like that. Oh no, you saw a UFO.
I thought, could it be a planet?
Could have been.
Do planets shine during the day? I don't know.
You're asking the wrong person. I'm not an astronomer.
If you know, let me know. But
I have no idea.
It was weird.
But I couldn't make it out when you showed me pictures and everything. I couldn't tell what it was. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what you saw.
I don't know what I saw either.
And neither do you. That's why it's an unidentified flying or floating object. That's all. Yeah. So congratulations, you saw one.
Okay. Oh, and the weird thing is it almost looked like a chemtrail the way it was going out, because it was like long, and I thought, is it a plane doing a chemtrail? But then it got shorter, and chemtrails don't shrink and expand. And yeah. So I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah, sitting on the front porch was awesome, and I saw that. Nice little vacation memory.
Dope.
Yeah. And we did some hiking.
Did some hiking. It was fun.
Yeah, we had a nice little plan. We've done enough shows on Missing 411 to know we need to be careful when going in the woods.
Yes, we were careful.
We were careful. So we made sure that we had essentially a tether to everyone, so nobody could run off.
Well, when you have young kids, you kind of have to do that.
They can let go of your hand and bolt on you.
Yeah, and when but especially young boys who like to run around and play and explore, which is great because that's what I did when I was a kid. But yeah, especially in new surroundings where you're warned by the cabin owner, there are steep drop-offs that some are marked and some are not. You may fall off a cliff. It was kind of like, all right,
I actually did that.
Let's keep everybody.
That happened close. To me on the Swiss Alps when I was a kid.
You fell off a cliff?
Yeah.
What? All right, let's hear this story. Let's sidebar into this one. Please.
When I was a kid, so my aunt lives in Switzerland, and I went to go stay with her for a little bit. And we went to the Swiss Alps, and it was a friend of hers who lived down the street and her kids who were around my age. So it was really cool. We're I knew some French and we were able to communicate and we were having fun. And there's like trails. So we took a.
Wait, you knew some French?
Yeah, because they spoke French. So we could communicate.
Is that what they speak in Switzerland?
That's what they spoke in Switzerland. They were speaking French. That's what I was speaking there.
Do the Swiss have their own language?
Where I was, it was French that everyone spoke.
Okay. Anyway.
So we're so cultured. So what's the thing that you take, like you ride it up to the top of the mountain?
Like a tram car?
Kind of. And so we took that up and then we walked down and they have these trails that you can walk. And in my excitement, I was skipping and I slipped and they had fencing along the edge. And when I slid under the fencing and I grabbed on to whatever I could. It was like rocks and roots and stuff. And because it wasn't like a flat, steep drop off, it was like a hill going down, but it was still really steep. And I just remember thinking, one, oh shit. And two, I was so embarrassed.
How old were you at the time?
I think I was like 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I was embarrassed. I was able to pull myself up. I remember the looks on everyone's face was just shock of what the fuck just happened. I was okay. Obviously.
Oh, well, obviously. You're sitting here. Hey, leave it to you, though. Figure out a way to go under the fence.
It wasn't posted, like the fence wasn't like posted into the ground. So I just slid under. I guess I was small enough.
All right. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good times.
So then we visited the Mothman Museum.
In Switzerland after falling off a cliff.
Yes. Back to our vacation.
So back to our vacation after that interesting sidebar. Okay. Yeah, we went to the Mothman Museum. We went to Point Pleasant, West Virginia. What would it end up being? About 25 minutes from the cabin? 30 minutes?
Like
something
30.
like that. Yeah, so it wasn't too far. And we drove over the infamous Silver Bridge.
We did. We actually, interesting fact, we had to get on 2 bridges to go from Ohio to Point Pleasant. We went over the Silver Bridge, which goes over the Ohio River. And then we went over the Bartow Jones Bridge, and that goes over the Kanawha River. I had to refer to my notes to remember the name of that bridge.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because when we drove over the Silver Bridge, Alex and I are saying to the kids, we're going over the Silver Bridge. And our 8-year-old starts freaking out. What?
Well, no, because he only freaked out because I said, yeah, this is the bridge that collapsed back in 66?
67. December 15th, 1967.
Like, this is the bridge that collapsed. I'm all excited.
And he's of course, thinking it's going to collapse.
Oh, shit, it's going to collapse. So yeah. I'm obviously excited, so I'm not thinking of what is going to happen when he hears this. Yeah, and he starts freaking out. It's like, oh shoot. I mean, it did, but it's fine now. It's been okay since.
We're going over the bridge, trying to assure him they fixed it. Yeah, it's okay.
They fixed it. That's why all these cars in front of us are on it, and all those cars that just got off it up ahead, they're fine. It's okay. Yeah, so that was fun. Yes. Yeah, so we go over the Silver Bridge, and then we get parking and everything, and we see the Mothman statue.
Yes, the infamous Mothman
statue, which is right outside of the museum. That was really cool. And we checked that out, and then we go inside. And when you first walk in, it's all like the gift shop. And there was like kind of a line of people like walking in. So it was pretty busy. And I thought when we walking in, I thought, oh, that's all this is like it's like a gimmick shop. Like they just got t-shirts and Mothman merch. Like that's what this is. I didn't realize because I didn't go on the website or anything beforehand. I did not know what to expect. I didn't want to get my hopes up. Let's put it that way. And so we're walking in and I'm just looking at all the different stuff. I'm like, oh, wow, they have a lot of books and because, you know, that's always my thing. I go to the books and the movies and the DVDs. Like I like the educational and the visuals kind of stuff. I like that. So I'm looking at all that stuff with our oldest, and you walked ahead with our two youngest kids, and you got up to the counter and you asked, I guess you were buying tickets, and we finally caught up with you because we get through the line of people and everything. And that's when I realized, oh, there's another part to this place. I thought that's all it was this little gift shop area. And I was thinking, oh, well, there's a lot of cool stuff. So could pick up some cool merchandise and whatever, and maybe get some books that I couldn't find on Amazon. You know what I mean? And no, there's like a whole other museum. So like, oh, so there's another part of this place. Cause I was already impressed with just the gift shop, but I was thinking that's all this is. And didn't real like again. And so we go into the actual museum, and then my mind was blown.
And I want to say admission is so inexpensive for a family of 5 with little kids. It was less than $20.
Yeah, that was the thing too. I was surprised at that.
It's like $4.50 a ticket, like and then if you're under a certain age, it's $1.50, I think.
Yeah,
it's so insanely inexpensive.
Yeah, so they make it very affordable, mm-hmm. And which is, in my opinion, it's very smart on their part, because it will bring people in. I feel, you know, you bring people in, and then you get people to spend money in your gift shop. Mm-hmm. Kind of a smart business plan. And then not only that, but you get people to hang out and stay around the surrounding businesses. So it's kind of like, I would think that must bring in a lot of people, a lot of business for the local, the surrounding businesses must get some of that runoff too. I guess is how I'm trying to word this.
And I think it's nice to kind of take a tragic incident and make something positive out of it for the town.
Yeah. Yeah. So we go into the actual museum, and just the amount of stuff and exhibits and things that have been collected.
And newspaper clippings.
It was amazing. Yeah. It's amazing just walking through and checking it all out. And I have to say, if we ever do get to go back, which someday I'm sure we will, I would like to go back just you and I, because it's very difficult especially if you have small kids that you have to hold their hands and you have to stop and keep explaining things to. It's, well, for me anyway, very difficult to focus and actually take it all in. So I'd like to go back at some point just to kind of really soak it all in more, you know. But holy cow, they have so much stuff.
It was a lot of good information.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a section with like the TNT area where they first had that first Mothman sighting. They had information about that.
They have like the actual handwritten eyewitness accounts on display in display cases right there. So you could actually read the original handwritten eyewitness accounts, and then they have them blown up. So you could, because it's kind of hard to read. So they have them transcribed and blown up so you can read them a little easier right up above. But it was just really cool. Like the presentation in that place, I was blown away. I was very impressed. Very impressed.
They had a section on the Silver Bridge, and they had all these articles about the bridge collapse. People saying, you know, that this person went missing. There was a guy who was a father and a coach, and he and his wife were supposed to meet their son and some other people for dinner. They were going shopping, and then they never made it back. And I think one of either the husband or the wife was found, but I don't think the other one was. But reading all these different articles, and it's talking about the body count, talking about the EMS and the divers that had to respond to that and the toll it took on them. It was heartbreaking reading these articles, but it was also like this time capsule bringing you into reality of, yes, people say the Mothman may have had something to do with it, and it brings all this infamy for this cryptid Mothman. But at the end of the day, I think it was 47 people lost their lives from this bridge collapse. So seeing that, reading about it, it was very sobering about the reality of it all, because you want to have fun with Mothman, but it really holds a nice tribute to the lives that were lost and all the people involved who lost loved ones, who are involved with recovery, those who were in the collapse, who survived. And yeah, it was heavy, but it was very well done. And they had a section for the Mothman Prophecies movie.
Yeah,
which was filmed in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but they had a bunch of the props and all the different things that were used in that
Chapstick
movie.
held by Richard Gere.
Was that a thing?
Yeah. This blanket was touched by both Richard Gere and Deborah Messing, and I think it was like on screen for a moment.
Deborah Messing? I thought it was Laura Linney.
I thought it was, I don't know. I'm not good with those Hollywood people names.
The two main stars.
I'm
pretty sure it's Laura Linney.
I saw the movie once.
Hey, how?
Maybe.
So yeah, that was. I
thought Deborah Messing was Richard Gere's wife in the movie who died. I don't
know. He wasn't talking to her most of the movie though. It was Laura Linney.
Okay, but I'm telling you what I remember. I could be wrong.
So we're gonna have to watch the Mothman Prophecy now and do a movie review.
I guess so.
Apparently.
As I drink my Mothman root beer, which is delicious.
Yeah, the soda they had there was great. We managed to grab a couple of bottles at the gift shop after. Anyhow, the Men in Black the little display they had there was really cool.
Yes, they had a Men in Black section. They had a section on John Keel.
They had his the famous white coat he wore at the inaugural Mothman.
What I thought was really cool was his letter to John F. Kennedy, and then John F. Kennedy's response to his letter.
Yeah, that was cool.
A lot of letters that were written, things like that. Actual like documents that people documenting everything that happened at that point in time that were saved. That was really cool.
Yeah, a lot of the original newspaper clippings of the stories from the time. They had the front page when the man landed on the moon. They had that thing there as well. There was just a whole bunch of really cool stuff. I like they had a little movie theater set up as well, a little movie viewing area that you could go into, part of the museum, but kind of part of it, but had like its own little section with like a little curtain area you could go in, and it was darkened, and they had seats, and you could sit, and they'd have different Mothman documentaries playing. So, and they had a little sign telling you the show times. So you could actually sit if you wanted to and watch an entire hour and a half, 2 hour long documentary and learn about the Mothman. If you didn't know the story already, you could actually, and they don't kick you out. They just, pay the $1.50 or whatever it is to get in, and you hang out in there as long as you want to. It was awesome. It was just really a very, very blown away by the whole thing. So yeah, really, really cool stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And once we finished going through, I mean, we were in there for at least an hour in the museum part.
Yeah. And again, like I said, I spent most of the time showing and explaining things. I wasn't able to read as much as you were. Well, because a lot of the stuff.
You took both the kids for a period of time, so I was able, because I had our youngest, I think maybe I had two of them with me, our two youngest, and you were going around looking at everything, and then I got to look at some stuff because I really wanted to read the articles and the letters.
Yes. So anyway,
so we were in there for about an hour, and then we went to the gift shop.
Yeah. You had to get our Mothman swag.
Yes.
Had to get our T-shirts and mugs and stuffed animals we bought for the kids, and gifts and things like that. So
gifts for people.
Yeah, it was like I said, it's a great business plan, keeping the tickets for the place so cheap, and then you get people to spend money on and even the merchandise it was all, I thought it was reasonably priced, everything they had.
Yeah, for what it was.
For all the stuff they had there. It was pretty cool.
The t-shirt I got is extremely large because the shirt I wanted, they had either like all smalls or extra large. So I'm swimming in this shirt, but that's okay. I might cut it up and make it look cool. No. You like my Freddy Krueger shirt?
You buy things just to cut them up.
No, I buy them because I like them, and I cut them up to make them more comfortable. So like I'll cut off the sleeves.
I don't get it. Or you just buy a tank top.
They didn't have a tank top of this shirt.
All right.
That's why.
So that was that. So that was fun.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a good time. And then we went outside, took pictures at the statue because you kind of have to. just to prove you were there. But we also walked along the boardwalk that they had there. And
it's like a park.
Yeah, and they have the murals up. They're all these the flood walls are all painted murals that go on for a long time.
And it's basically telling the history of the Native Americans that were there. And then when the white people came in and
the white man
came in and basically they went to war and basically how this area got established.
Yeah, it was really very, very interesting. And they had more statues along the way as well of historical figures from that time period. It was just incredible. And I was surprised that there weren't more people walking around outside in that area. Yeah, there weren't any actually at all. It was just our family. I didn't see anybody else anywhere. And it wasn't really cold out. It was like maybe a 50-degree day. It wasn't like freezing. It was
drizzling a little bit earlier.
It wasn't that bad.
It was a little raw, but it wasn't bad.
But it was fun because, again, we had that whole entire outside area to ourselves. So,
yeah, it was great. You could see the Silver Bridge. We got a great view of it. And yeah, just walking through that area, it was really nice. And everyone was so friendly.
Everybody was so friendly and nice there.
At the store, there was a woman who was just there, who lived in the area.
Just stops in and
just chit-chatting with us. So people. Nice.
It was cool. Yeah. All right.
Walked by a couple people, like older people outside, and so polite. I loved it.
Yep. Just making small talk with the locals. It was fun.
Because up here in New England, a lot of times, like we always try to make an effort to smile and say hello to people as we pass them. And around here, there's usually the suspicion of, why are you talking to me? Why are you smiling and saying hi? But down there, super friendly. Oh, how are you? Nice.
Yeah, it was. It was a nice change of pace for sure.
One thing about change of pace down there that I thought was really interesting. Now, I thought once you went past the Mason-Dixon line, things got a little slower in the South. But the roads in West Virginia and Southern Ohio are so windy. And like where we were driving, there was like steep drop-offs on the side and ditches. And the speed limit is 55, 65 on a lot of these roads. And even where it's straight, they have stoplights and like intersections. So you go from going 65 and you have to stop.
And a stoplight. Yeah, that was interesting.
It was so weird. And some of these roads I'm driving, the speed limit's 55 and it's really windy. And I'm thinking, I'm comfortable driving 30 miles an hour. And then we have cars behind us.
Yeah. So I did a lot of that driving to the city or back roads or whatever you call it. Because I'm a little more comfortable going a little quicker. But the big thing that was really difficult to get used to was the narrowness of the roads.
They were so narrow. So when you have a narrow road that's very windy and with steep drop-offs on the side.
Yeah, anytime you were on those roads, you were over the yellow line every 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, I was going over the yellow line because I did not want to go over the ditch.
So it was a little bit different than it is up here. Something to get used to. But it wasn't too bad. No. Yeah. A lot of farmland.
Yeah, that was the other great thing.
A lot of churches too. I don't know how they have so many churches with so few houses around, and so
there's acres of land and farmland, and we go down a road. There's maybe like 8 houses on it,
but there's like 3 churches. It's like okay, all right, yeah, just church. There's so many churches everywhere. was insane. Go ahead.
Oh, what were you going to say?
No, you go.
We were going to Athens. Was it Athens, Ohio?
Yes.
And we were going to get some frozen custard.
That's where I was going to.
Whit's frozen custard. Well, oh my gosh, it was amazing. Well, the location happened to be in Ohio University in their, what do you call it?
Campus?
The campus? Thank you. But it's
what do you call it? The campus. It's like the entire town. Like that whole section of town is the university. It was enormous.
They have restaurants, shops. Like I'm not used to that because the college I was used to being around, Shoppies, was UMass Lowell. That's the college area, and you literally had like where you went, and then it was just Lowell all around it. So it's just the buildings where you went to class, parking lots, and that was it. So I saw for the first time in my life a real live frat house. I've only seen them in movies before. I've never been on a college campus with frat houses. So that was interesting.
Yeah, you were popping for those. Oh my God, it's a real frat house.
It's a real frat house. Like, I've never seen one before.
I was shocked that you were so amazed by that.
It's just weird because you see them in the movies all the time. Like every college has a frat house. Well, not in Lowell, Massachusetts. Well, maybe they do, but I've never seen them.
And they had quite a few of them.
But like on a row, like where they're all like right there.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them.
Yeah, it was never saw it before.
And then we went to the place for the frozen custard. So good. That was good.
We need one of those places. Well, no, we don't, because I'll want to eat it. But it was delicious and everyone was friendly.
Yeah, great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was a good trip. Fun time.
Yeah, it was. And I just wanted to bring up a couple of things about the Mothman Museum for anybody interested. Check it out. If you're in the area or you're going through the area, check out the Mothman Museum. It's located at 400 Main Street in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. It's the world's only Mothman Museum. Can't get that anywhere else. And it was opened and it's owned by Jeff Wamsley, and he opened it in 2005. He used to own a record store, but he was just so fascinated growing up with all the stories of Mothman. He decided to make a museum, and he worked really hard to get everything that the museum has today and a lot of donations from people. There is an amazing quilt inside that little movie theater area, and somebody had their mom hand make this amazing Mothman quilt.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's big.
If I could buy it, I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they gave it away. And after they gave it away, it was
like raffled off.
Yeah, it was a raffle. But it was such a great quilt. They actually asked the person if they could have it back to put in the museum, and the person obliged.
Well, I think it was. Did you take a photo of the story of this quilt? Do you happen to know offhand? Because
I took a picture of the quilt. I can't remember if I took a picture of the story.
I briefly, I tried to skim the story of it, and I believe it was made, but it wasn't made for the museum. It was raffled off for something else.
I'm looking at my pictures right now to see if I can.
I'm pretty sure I may have that wrong, because again, I had two little kids whose hands I was holding while I was trying to read this thing. But if I read it correctly, the quilt was made, was raffled off to somebody, and then because of the craftsmanship of it and pictures of it were making the rounds, they said that this quilt is one of a kind. It belongs in the Mothman Museum. They were able to reach out to the owner, and I think the owner donated it to the museum, and it hangs there now.
But they gave it to them so they would have it there. Right. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
And they had some really cool paintings as well. You know what? I didn't get a picture of the quilt.
That's okay.
But I got some other cool. There's like really cool paintings and works of art that people made for this. I don't know if it's specifically for the museum, but the museum had it. It's really cool. And I'm thinking, that's awesome artwork. I want that in my house. But yeah,
yeah, they had a lot of really just
people
neat stuff,
making things, donating it, and Jeff Wamsley was able to curate all this amazing like history information and then just cool stuff as well to add to it. People made costumes. There were drawings of what people explained what they saw when they had sightings of Mothman, and then they had costumes made of it. There was some pretty amazing stuff in there. So definitely, if you're in the area or you want to plan a vacation, great place to visit. Go check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. If you live near there, I'm sure anybody that lives near there has probably already checked it out. But yeah, if not, check it out. Definitely worth your time. Great time.
So that was our trip. I mean, we left a lot out. We really wanted to focus on the Mothman Museum because it was awesome.
It was. It was a good time.
It was.
So until next time. I'm the Golden Greek, Alex Arion, joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous, amazing trophy. No, not trophy. Jeez, I said trophy. Just old habits. They die hard. My lovely wife, Monique.
And you've been listening to the Homewrecker podcast.
We love hearing from and interacting with our hearers and watchers. Feel free to reach out to us on Twitter
at HomewreckerPod.
You can also visit our website,
homewreckerpodcast.com,
where you can check out past episodes and pick up some Homewrecker podcast gear from our online store.
Also, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe or follow button wherever you're hearing or watching our show. That way you can be notified whenever a new episode drops. We're on all major podcasting platforms, and you can check out the video versions of our show at YouTube and Brighteon.
You can also find Monique in a few places online as well.
I'm on Twitter @_MoniqueGiselle_. If you're interested in a tarot reading, organite, incense, candles, and other cool things, you can go to my website, tarotbymonique.com. Or if you're interested in hypnotherapy, you can go to innerstandingshypnosis.com to schedule a free 20-minute consult. And follow me on Twitter @MoniquePCHT. And Alex, how can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter @TheAlexArion. And you can check out my website, AlexArionFitness.com.
And if that's too much to remember, we get it. That's why we put it all in our show notes.
Thanks for spending your time with us, and we appreciate all of your support.
We do. Thank you. We love you.